Hey everyone, this is David Brown. In this video, I'm going to answer a common question, which is, what time of day should I visit a hawkwatch? I recommend visiting hawkwatches in the morning. Ideally, you want to be there as the raptors begin flying, especially if you are a beginner, because this is usually when they are the lowest. The exact time depends on the season, location, and weather, but let me outline a typical day. Songbirds are active in the morning. This could be warblers, sparrows, finches, blackbird flocks, kinglets, robins. You will see these birds active in the trees as well as migrating. Before you even see any raptors, you can put together a nice list of birds, sometimes including some that are quite rare. Local raptors such as merlins and Cooper's hawks may be hunting early as well. Sometime mid-morning, you will begin to see migrating raptors. At the Ashland Hawkwatch, our first sign was usually kettles of local black and turkey vultures beginning to rise. If the vultures were getting lift, we knew that the raptors wouldn't be far behind. Another thing to keep in mind is wind versus thermals. On days when raptors are getting lift from thermals, it may be mid-morning before you start seeing many migrants. On windy days, raptors are able to get lift earlier as the wind deflects off of the terrain. Of course, this depends on the geography of the site. Ashland is a Piedmont site, and raptors use both thermals and wind, but from my observation, thermals were the more important of the two, with the biggest migration occurring on days of light winds. Ridge sites can be more dependent on the wind. Once the raptors are flying, you will observe them getting higher and higher each hour. By early afternoon, many raptors are at the limit of vision or beyond. This can be fun as a challenge for experienced hawkwatchers to find and identify as many specks as possible, but it is very frustrating for beginners. Sometimes there are late afternoon pushes of migrants as they descend and are spotted more easily, but these are usually not as satisfying as the morning liftoffs. I would like to give two examples of days of hawkwatching where it paid off to be early. A few years ago, I went to Hawk Mountain, a famous hawkwatch here in Pennsylvania. It was mid-September and the weather was looking good for a big broad-winged hawk day. My family and I left home about 5 a.m. and we were up at the North Lookout by 8 a.m. I don't remember exactly what time the hawks started flying, but what I remember is that for the first hour or so, the views were spectacular as the hawks were low, including many diving at the owl pole. By late morning, things had slowed down quite a bit. As afternoon turned to evening, there was a nice late day push of ospreys. However, if someone came at 10 and stayed until 2, they would have got the impression that it wasn't a great day because they missed the times with the best looks and the highest numbers. My second example is from Ashland last fall. September 23rd, 2017 was our big broad-winged hawk day, and here were the totals by hour. From 8 to 9 a.m., we only had 5 migrants. From 9 to 10 a.m., we had approximately 2,200 migrants. From 10 to 11 a.m., we had approximately 2,000 migrants. From 11 to noon, we had 300 migrants. So just in those 4 hours of the morning, it went 5, 2,200, 2,000, 300. And then if we take a look at the afternoon, noon to 1, 100 migrants. 1 to 2, 16. Next hour, 11. Then 21, then 14 in the last hour. If you showed up at 11 a.m., you had already missed the vast majority of the migrants. Now let me give one counterexample. The previous day, September 22nd, 2017, the afternoon ended up being better. If we look at the morning hours, from 9 to 10, we only had 2 migrants. 10 to 11, 9. 11 to 12, we had 14. Then in the afternoon, it went 8, 79, and then the big hour, which was 2 to 3 p.m., we had 1,350. 3 to 4, we had 450. 4 to 5, we had 90. And 5 to 6 p.m., we only had 6. So that was an example of a day where there wasn't much happening in the morning, but then in the afternoon, we started getting a big push. Now, all of these examples are extreme days in terms of the number of migrants, but the general principle applies. So to summarize, if the only time you can go hawk watching is in the afternoon, then go in the afternoon because it can be worthwhile. But if you have the choice, I recommend going in the morning.